Well, what I remember talking to Mike and John about was, hey, this game or gimmick game, whatever you want to call it, it puts clubs in the hands of people.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Whole Story Podcast. This episode falls right in with our specials we're doing on Mondays here in March of this month of 2026, Jonathan. We're talking about on Mondays kind of golf technology, cool things that's happening in the game that helps you get better. And we're talking with Sean Pyun of GOLFZON, and we do want to go ahead and say, like, I think we said GOLFZON the entire time.
We might have. There's no E on the end.
Yeah.
And is there like a dash across the O to make it a long O? I don't know.
No. GOLFZON, all caps. We will make sure there's links in there. Don't worry about how we pronounce it. Just know that it's pretty awesome. Like, and they're doing some incredible things. So, and it was just, it's fun to hang out with folks like Sean, like to hear his story about with the LPGA for a long time, because his parents at a donut shop would be watching golf when they got home from working at the donut shop, which I did write down donut shop, and I forgot to ask, like, what was the best donut that they had.
Oh man, we should. Yeah, we got to
get back. It made me want a donut, and I haven't had a donut in a while. Yeah, follow up. This needs to be a donut podcast for sure.
Oh, we're none one of us eating sugar right now. Don't talk about donuts, man. I already know exactly what I'm eating on Easter Sunday. I'm eating a blueberry donut and a Dr. Pepper on the way to church. It's going to be
great. Yeah. So heads up, church folks, Jonathan's going to crash about midway through. So anyway, yeah. So great conversation with Sean to learn more about what GOLFZON's doing. Incredible simulator stuff. I saw it down at the PGA show. Again, another one that you were unable to see. Sorry about that, Jonathan. But I got to hang out with Thomas Walter. Thomas, thank you. I know you're probably going to be listening to this. I know you were listening actually while we were doing this live. But again, thank you so much for introducing us to Sean and for the opportunity to chat with him and learn more and more about it. So, yeah, great stuff. You guys are going to like it, but go check out. We'll have links in the show notes to all this stuff. So, Jonathan and I are rocking. We just got a delivery of the latest stuff from our friends at Summit Golf Brand. So, Jonathan, what polo are you rocking there?
Speaking of how to pronounce things, Glasser, amazing. I picked this one because I don't know if they consider it sport material, but it feels like the casual side of sport material. It's nice and soft. It's got a pattern to it. I'm colorblind, so it can be anywhere between a blue to a teal, depending on what your screen looks like if you're watching this on YouTube. And I knew Robbie, being a vest guy, was going to want to wear the vest today. So I was like, I got to pick something that I don't have to wear a vest over. So what you got on there, Robbie?
Absolutely. I'm rocking the Z610 vest by Zero Restriction. It's part of their Primal Loft collection. This thing, it's awesome. It's like, kind of the puffy insulated piece up top, and it's got the smoothness and the feel of like their TKO hoodies on the bottom. It's amazing. And I've got the Tommy polo on from Beadready. It is really nice. It's got stripes. You can see stripes, right?
I can see the stripes. I don't know what color they are. I would like to say Robbie's basically like the dressed up version of Bill Belichick, where he wants to have a really nice sweatshirt on, like a TKO hoodie, but this one happens to be sleeveless. Only he didn't cut off the sleeves himself.
I'm not cutting anything on these shirts or
no, not at all.
No, this stuff's awesome. You can get stuff like this too at any of their sites. At some point, I think we'll have one where we can get some best ball stuff on there and have a little site for that.
Logos.
Stay tuned. But if you go to any of their websites and use BestBall20, you can get 20% off your order. So many thanks to Cole, to Dan, to Billy, everybody involved at Summit Golf Brands. It's great working with you guys. So let's get to our chat with Sean with GOLFZON. Y'all enjoy this one. All right. Well, joining us today on the Whole Story Podcast, Mr. Sean Pyun. I guess we should say welcome, but maybe welcome to WOW, right? shouldn't that be how we introduce this thing?
Yes, about 6 out of 10 people, whoever comes up on our simulator for the first time says the word wow. So I think that is proper introduction. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was my introduction to GolfZon, and you guys. Uh, I went to the PGA show, and I've been working with Thomas Walter. So many thanks to Thomas for helping to introduce me to GolfZon even more, but and helping to coordinate this. So, but Tom, we start every episode. We want to know like our guest history in golf, right? Like, hopefully, you didn't just jump into the golf business without being passionate about it. So, Sean, what's your history in golf? When did you start playing?
It's a good question. I started playing golf, I want to say about 2006, when I was in graduate school. But I didn't really enjoy playing a lot of golf. So my story might be a little bit different than you, but I was an international student from Korea, and I came to U.S. to study abroad. And my parents were also here running a small donut shop because we need to generate money to pay for my godly tuition at SMU. Um, but so they would come home after donut shop at around noon. That's when the business ends. It's a breakfast business, but they would come and turn on the LPGA telecast every time over the weekend. So, I remember my mom and dad telling me, "You gotta watch the LPGA. Look how our Korean women are playing. That's how you represent your country." And I would always say, I don't watch golf. I don't watch women's golf." But in an interesting way, that stuck with me. So when I graduated, I went and worked for the LPGA Tour for the last 16 years, and it was an unbelievable experience. So after having gone through 16 years of the LPGA and having signed GolfZone as a corporate sponsor of the LPGA back in 2014, so there's my little connection between LPGA and GolfZone, but that's how I got into the game.
Very
What
nice.
was your role and responsibility with the LPGA? Were you a liaison between different countries? Like you went to SMU. I'm assuming somehow that related to professional golf work, right?
Yeah, yeah, not really. So after SMU, I went to a school called University of San Francisco, working a sport management program.
Okay.
So in the first two year plus, almost 3 years, I worked in the player services department. Basically, that is traveling to every tournament, work with the players on their schedule. For example, hospital visit, or work with the corporate sponsor and a few things, activation on site. So I did that for 3 years, and I took over as a tournament business affairs director. Worked primarily with our international customers or title sponsors. Then I took over that department and have opened the LPGA's first ever branch, so LPGA Asia office based in Seoul. So I was managing as a chief business officer of Asia. I managed all of our tournaments, sponsorship, TV contracts in that part of the world. So I was stationed in Korea from 2017 to 2024, so almost 7 years there.
That's amazing.
It's a lot of fun.
Where
LPGA does
where's
well in
home
Asia.
now?
Sorry about that. I live in our office is in Chantilly, Virginia, right by the Dulles Airport. So I'm a proud new resident of Northern Virginia.
Very nice. Welcome. Well, you mentioned the LPGA, and I guess let's start with a couple things in GolfZon. And you introduced and made that partnership happen in 2014. But I know GolfZon is now the official simulator of the U.S. Open and the U.S. Women's Open. So let's start there. Let's talk about that. And I know there are other partnerships we can discuss,
Sure.
but that's a pretty big one.
It is a big one. So having been on the LPGA side and having worked with a lot of companies, I know the power that USGA has to be able to help us with our business. Certainly the credibility, being a relatively lesser known brand in the United States, going through one of the most, the governing body of the golf was a very important factor for us. Um, but I think USGA also understands moving forward in this industry, indoor golf is going to come into a bigger focus for what we're doing. So our collective goal in this partnership is for us to advance our business, but also help USGA understand what's coming and how our customers behave and what is sort of the regulations and rules and tournaments that are necessary to continue to grow this indoor industry. Because at the end of the day, we all are constituents of the game, and we want to grow the game. And Mike Wan and John Padeni, the USGA CEO and Chief Commercial Officer, they have very good understanding of how Golf Zone facilitated significant growth of golf in Korea. So they understand what we've done because they were both with the LPGA when I was with the LPGA. So they've seen it before. I remember the conversation that I had with both John and Mike back when we were signing Golf Zone as a corporate sponsor. The question was, this is certainly gimmicky, maybe video game kind of like, it's not real golf. But what I remember talking to Mike and John about was, hey, this game or gimmick game, whatever you want to call it, it puts clubs in the hands of people. What they choose to do after that, whether that's just playing indoor, never come back, or go to outdoor, that's up to them. But at the time, growing the game initiative was as a critical one. I think if you think about it now, no one really talks about we need to have further growth in the game because game has grown and it continues to grow. But that's really what it was all about. It's all about the about growing the game, which is the mission and the vision of our founder in the first place.
Well, and I think you said that right. There's a lot of emphasis on getting children involved in the game at a young age. How do we work with the First Tee and other programs like that? But the reality is, it sounds like your parents were casual observers of the game of golf, and so you bring in a golf zone or something like that in a downtown bar location. Everybody has a good time, and the next thing you know, shoot, the algorithms probably fix that for us most of the time, right? You start talking about golf, then your phone's going to show you golf. And who knows whenever you find out the next family that decides to take it up as an entire hobby on Saturdays.
100%. I mean, I think we all agree it's such a great game, right? Like I know there are a
Yeah.
lot of sports in the world, but if you can name a few sports that you can play generationally till you're 60, 70, 80, playing with your son and grandson, it's such an awesome game. As stewards of the game, all of us got to do what we got to do to grow the game. And our partnership with the US Open and Women's Open is no different. We want to make sure indoor golf isn't just something you do on Saturday morning or when the green grass facility is not available due to inclement weather, which is a very big thing, but it's about having additional options and bring more people into the top of the funnel of the game. Um, I'm some of my facilities are experiencing 30% of customer being what they consider first time golfer, 40% of my customer
Wow.
being women. It's certainly a lot more inclusive and less intimidating, I should say, environment to play golf. You know.
That's great. Well, let's actually get into the product and I guess the software technology piece of this. So that's what one of the things I was super impressed with when I saw it at the PGA show. It's not just a flat mat that you're hitting golf balls into a screen, right? There's so much more. So tell our audience who might not be familiar what it's all about.
Oh, thank you. So, GolfZone, our number one product is called Two Vision NX. It has what you just mentioned, swing plate, or I should say motion plates, our latest version. It's a plates that moves in 64 directions. So it creates up to about 56,000 different lies on the golf course. And we also have a different surfaces to hit off of. So rather than having one flat matte surface, we've got a couple different bunkers. One the fairway bunker, greenside bunker. We have a rough mat and the fairway mat. So it gives people more realistic feeling of playing golf and indoor. We also have an auto tee that comes up so that you don't have to go retrieve your ball every time. You just take that part out of the game. And that particular feature came out of the request from our customers in Korea who said, hey, you know what? Our bait times are sold out. I wish I can just add one more group. Is there a way we can reduce the time of play? We found out if you don't have to go pick up the ball every time, it takes about 20 to 25% off of the overall playing time through the 18
Wow.
holes. So that was a customer driven feature. Then we have this network player on the software side. Today we have a ability to connect up to 10,000 simulators worldwide real time. So the difference between our network technology and some of our competitors is that they just merely merger results in the back end. But for us, Jonathan, if you and I are playing together, you're in LA, I'm in Dallas. When you hit your ball into the screen, I can actually see your ball come through on my screen. So it's almost like
What?
playing a esports version of golf.
So you got water on your screen too, then?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Okay,
Can
I'm
you
just
help
checking.
he can help me find the ball in the woods. That'd be great.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, golf is a game. I mean, more than 90% of people play golf not individually, but with other people. So we felt that's
Right.
important, and we're taking it further step. And now we're building a Zoom-like communication device between our simulators. So when you and I playing against each other, I know when you're cheating because I can see your whole place, and we can talk to each other, talk smack. Because that's probably the most enjoyable part of the game that I enjoy. You know, talking with friends and playing with friends and it's just talk a little smack to them, and I think that's very much part of the golf.
So not to maybe get peek behind the curtain, but I like business and ideas and things like that. It sounds like that translates into we could create a golf zone tour where we could actually go and virtually play across the world and host
There is
tournaments.
one, Jonathan.
There's already one? Oh my gosh.
I'm
Yeah,
assuming
they're about to do
Jonathan.
season 3, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming Jonathan wanted to just bring up that subject for me to talk about. I appreciate that
Absolutely.
platform. So in Korea, we've been running a professional-based tour called G Tour for the 15 years now. I think 16 events. Each event has about 80,000 to $100,000 purse. And so as an offshoot to that, we created a golf zone tour that is North America based. Last year we had US, Mexico, Canada, Sweden participated. This year we're going to get to about 11 countries participating. So in the year one is the 12 teams, and they never have to travel because on their sims they can play against each other through a network technology. So we really almost forced it in the first year because I told my team,
Right.
which every one of my executive here disagreed that we weren't ready to pull this off today. But so let's get started. We'll figure out as we go. So I started first year with 12 teams. And in the year two, we went to 72 teams. That's a 500% jump. We went from $150,000 purse to $300,000 purse. Now we've got over 100 facilities signed up already from 11 different countries, and they're all going to be able to play through network technology. Now, building the entire competitive ecosystem, what we want to do with USGA, for example, going back to your first question, is really build out a US simulator open or US indoor open and have that become a really major like event within the entire indoor golf schedule. We're in discussion with few other associations, but it's just building that competitive ecosystem within Golf
Right.
Zone Tour where people can play against each other for a certain amount of dollars. Trip to Pebble Beach, trip to Pinehurst. We've got a lot of those in planning, and it's never to compete against the green grass facility. It's just bring them in for additional opportunity in golf.
Yeah, you can find other ways to get more clubs in hand. So one of the things that I'm impressed with, yes, there's residential options. Like if you have the space, you can do it. There is kind of golf facility. You go to some of these pop-ups that are doing, one or two bays, things like that. But one of the things Thomas was showing me and talking to me about was like the kind of the larger scale facility where you have multiple of these, I'm gonna call it bays set up or holes set up, because he showed me where you hit into it. Then and we watched the screen go up, and behind it there's a putting green. So
Oh
it's
my
kind of like,
gosh.
I say TGL, right? But
Right.
you can make that happen for people.
Yeah, and City Golf is what it's called,
City
and I'm
golf,
sure
yes, yeah, yeah.
you guys experienced at the PGA show. And I'm embarrassed to say this, but at the PGA show, that one hole was the extent that I've ever experienced it because we have two facilities up and running in China at the moment. And I've just dreaded traveling. So about 3 weeks ago, I went to one of our facilities in China with three of my customers, and we played the 18 hole, the full round for the first time. Let me tell you, there's nothing I can say to you that I can get you to understand how special that experience was. Um, but it was a lot of fun, right? So I think what it was is if you think about just one hole and you play the simulators, that's the same thing that we all do now in indoor facilities. Screen opens up and you walk out to the green. That's great. Um, but to me, what made that 18-hole experience special was almost just a natural human kinetic movement. So in golf, if you think about it, unless you hit shots like I do, you never move backwards on the golf course, right? So you play, and then you get to the green, and then you actually move to the next simulator for the hole number two. So I think keeping the flow of that made it feel special. And for the entire 3 hours, well, I should also mention the four of us were able to finish the full 18 holes in 3 hours, and we didn't give any gimme. So I think you can't even dial that down. And from a business perspective, that's a great aspect. But um, just for the entire 3 hours, we were never apart for more than 30 feet when we were on the green. So you bring some of the good elements from outdoor golf and you bring some of the good elements from indoor golf. Certainly, we don't have to worry about inclement weather and being so hot or cold. It's just kind of the best of the both worlds. I mean, we don't get the full fairway grass and stepping on that. I mean, we will never be able to replace green grass golf. There's just nothing like
Right.
it in this world. But next best thing, I think City Golf might be able to be close to that.
Well,
Yeah.
well, and if I owned a golf course, which I always think it'd be fun to own as long as I won the lottery and it didn't cost me anything really financially, because that scares me to death. Why wouldn't you want to put and to be fair, we visit a lot of golf courses. I've never seen a simulator inside a clubhouse. To me, that makes sense because then you create community, you create people to buy food, drinks, all the things that you make money off of. And if I can convince someone to show up to my location at least 2, 3 times a week, regardless of the weather, that becomes a whole nother thing. So in this case, you said you went 18 holes. Is it literally a 100,000 square foot facility that has 18 bays that I walk from space to space?
75,000 square feet is the minimum
Oh,
footprint
that's
required.
so
So
cool.
it's massive. I'll send you guys some material after the podcast,
Yeah.
after our chat. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's a big stadium. Big
Right.
stadium. Yeah. So,
But
but
how
go
many
ahead.
rounds of golf from a business perspective, how many rounds of golf can you facilitate through that type of space?
I think potentially close to 100,000 rounds a year. If you're looking at 3 hours and open about 16 hours a day, I think max gets close to 100,000 rounds. But um, yeah, so I think this might end up becoming a vertical within golf. So you have the green
Right.
grass, and now you have indoor, and you have what we call hybrid between the two. So I think golf can certainly afford another vertical, given the kind of the demand and supply that we're seeing, the lack of tee times or quality tee times in a lot of the area. Then obviously the seasonality with wintertime in New York or summertime in Texas, it's a pretty tough place to play golf. But Jonathan, I want to kind of answer a little bit of a question in a different way about a golf course not having simulators. That is
Yeah.
changing fundamentally today. We just signed a deal with Pebble Beach. They're going to place four simulators of ours in their resort, in their clubhouse for Spanish Bay.
Right.
So in the daytime, I don't know if you guys been there, but Spanish Bay doesn't have its own driving range. So you go from a Pebble Beach driving range to Spanish Bay, but now it gives them a four bay with the data and everything to be able to practice during
Mm.
daytime. But in the nighttime, it becomes a social entertainment hub where they're serving more alcohol and food. And that's really happening across the board, particularly for private clubs now when they've been so comfortable closing their doors from say November to April in many places in the United States, but they have now seen over and over for a couple of years all of their members and customers are going to 2 miles down the road to indoor facility, and when you go check that out, every bay is packed.
Right.
And a lot of them are their members and customers. So I think golf courses are now understanding, okay, maybe we don't have to close in the wintertime or summertime. We can continue to attract customers to come in, members to come in, where it's sustainable for us to have our doors open, our staff working. I think they're seeing that. You're going to see a lot more golf courses adopting technologies. And this is one of the reasons why we partner with a National Golf Course Owners Association. We want to understand their needs, and I want them to look at us and see how we can solve their problems and advance their business, meaning how to um, make their balance sheet better. you know
Yeah.
At the Pebble Beach location in at Spanish Bay, does the bagpipe guy come in and play for the golfers in the sim room?
I think the bagpipe guy is outside, and you just have to continue to stick with that tradition. But I'm sure they can
You
come
can just
down,
pipe
but
that music in, yeah.
yeah, it would be really cool. Like I think you guys know Pebble Beach. They won't do things unless it's first class. Everything they do is with thinking of their customer experience in mind. So we're very flattered that they chose us as the partner, and they went through probably over 12 months of very extensive research before selecting us their partner. But I'm excited what kind of experience we can provide to probably one of the top 1-2% golf clientele in the world.
So,
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned Pebble Beach and all this, and I know there's what 300 plus courses loaded into the software, the technology. Are those real life courses? Like if we wanted to play Pebble Beach, are they kind of simulated like somebody went in and designed courses? Or talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, a little bit of both. Us being a company that was founded in Korea in 2000, we have a lot of non-US courses in our map. That is unique to our system, Korea, China, Japan. When I first took this position with GolfZone 2 years ago, we had about 20 US maps, which is not enough for North American customers. So now we're at close to 60, 50 something, and we've got another 90 in the process of mapping. So overall, we have a little over 330 courses. By end of this year, we will have close to 100 golf courses in US. We just mapped all 11 golf courses at Pinehurst. The Pebble Beach is obviously already there. We just did a deal with Shinnecock for upcoming US Open. So you'll see a lot more golf course coming on the US golf courses coming. But what's interesting is every month on our customer base, number one golf course map they played is Pebble Beach. That doesn't change. And there's also Bay Hill. I see a lot more Tobacco Road coming up, Quail Hollow. But then in top 10 every month, there's at least one virtual course. So we have this golf course called Life's Best. So Life's Best is a phrase in golf in Korea that talks about your best score in your life. Like we call it labe, life's best. So we have like a mountain hole where you could hit 750-yard drive, and it's just a lot of fun, right? So I know our clientele isn't just about, top 5, 10%, the data-driven golfers, but also family and kids that wants to come and just have a good time. You know?
well, talk about those golf sickos that are looking at the data and things like that, because everyone's out there at some point. If you're into golf, you're trying to get your game to be better and better. So how does this also work as a tool, not just a Saturday hang?
Sure. I think whether it's Golf Zone or TrackMan and all of our competitors, most of these top companies' data is already 90% plus in sync. So anywhere you go, I think you get a pretty good data. Some better on some systems, some other on other systems. But at the end of the day, there is certain demand of people wanting to know what shot they just hit, what that's going to look like. So I think there'll always be a big part of what we do and what everybody does. But for us, it's just more than that. Um, our founder finding this company just solely on the mission of providing accessibility to golf courses because he himself couldn't get on the golf course once he stopped working for Samsung. So that was a big goal for him. So if you go to our simulator, we have a rookie version, amateur playing mode. So if you're a first time player, you just shanked it to the right 40 yards, it will still give you 95 to 100 yards and then the right rough versus out of bounds. So we have different
Wow.
modes. Our goal is to have people come back and not get discouraged by
Right.
how, you know, not good they are. So we do certainly have products that are catered towards more of a high-end, like data-driven folks like the GDR Max we just launched. QuadCam, it gives you everything from basically data points, spin access to call path and everything. We have that, but most of our customers have been more of the entertainment, the competition focus, more realistic surfaces. That's been 90% plus of our customer with Two Vision NX.
I can finally
How
play a
many
round of golf and not lose a ball. This sounds perfect. Set me up for rookie
Yes.
mode. I'm going low.
Yes. I'm sure you're a good golfer, but we can always do that.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not at all.
How's the residential market going for you guys?
It's growing. I can tell you that eight out of last 10 POs I signed was residential setup. Um, Golf Zone certainly is a premium product. We know our pricing point versus most of our competitors, and we're just on kind of in the highest. Um, I think in the beginning it's tough to grasp that it's going to cost $100,000 to put a golf simulator in my garage or basement. But I think that shifted that thinking is shifting. As more prevalent indoor golf is becoming and more popular is becoming, we're starting to see a lot of people open their checkbook to write $100,000 to get their residential sim set up. One of the things that we are working on just between us here, being on the podcast, we want to be able for you to play match against your friends in your home, as I talk to you about network technology. But we also own and operate GolfZone Ledbetter Academy. We have about 33 offline academy location. Eventually and ultimately, in a couple of years, our goal is that if you want to go down to your basement and get a 1 hour lesson from Ledbetter instructor, we would be able to do that. Between kiosk to kiosk, client to client. So that's what we want to create. And our thing is all about connectivity and convenience. Now I'm taking your effort to go to make an appointment, go to a third party place to be able to get a lesson and come back home to my next thing. Like you can do this in your basement, in your pajamas if you want. And I think that's how you grow the game, you know?
Yeah. Suddenly we'll have
The
like
foot
R2D2 is going to pop up. There'll be a hologram in front of us, and it'll be like, no, you need to swing back like this. Like the technology, again, this is a technology play, right? Like you're looking at it from, we're spoiled in the South because if you start talking about winter golf and being shut off from, November to, it's like, well, no, I'm going to play golf every day that I want to, unless I don't want to get wet. Like that's the only thing that stops us from being able to play golf in the South. But we forget, or at least I do, there's a whole host of countries that literally they're starving for it and trying to find ways to do that. So bringing
Yeah.
the technology makes a lot of sense.
Jonathan, we're working on something with hologram. I don't know if you knew that and
Oh,
mentioned it
I
or,
didn't.
but
I
we've got
just
something.
next step,
You're just
right?
teeing them up for everything.
Yeah,
Well,
you're
if
pretty good.
you need a golf instructor to be able to stand in front of you, and if you can create a hologram and be like, hey, you know, instant feedback. Like I'm going to a golf lesson tonight. He's going to stand across from me because I'm left-handed. That was going to be my other question. Do you have the tee to be able to come up for left-handed people? But we'll get to that. Like he's going to stand across from me and he's going to move and he's going to show me what that proper movement can look like and all those things. So holograms, if you're looking at what technology can or can't do right now, doesn't mean you might want to think that. So talk
I
the
mean,
hologram thing. Let's go there.
think about the world where you have the AI coaching with hologram that is combined with the 15, 20, 25 years of the curriculum and core teaching from Ledbetter and all of our teachers. It's a pot of gold in my opinion. Um,
Only $100,000. Let's write the check.
yeah. But Jonathan, you mentioned something interesting to me where you guys have an access to golf and golf weather throughout the year.
Yeah.
So when we first started this business in 2000 for Korea, it was that. So people play indoor when outdoor access is restricted in the wintertime, summertime, monsoon season. So we
Yep.
were doing about 30% of the business in the summer. They would typically do in what we call the peak time in the wintertime. But today, and I think that's what everybody's experiencing in the United States, indoor golf facility, it's about 30%. So, um, but the better days are ahead of us because in Korea right now, we're about close to 85 to 90% in the summertime. So we are starting this indoor golf with the concept in our own minds that it's an alternative form of golf when the green grass is
That's
not
right.
available. You
That's
play
right.
enough times and you get really into it, it just becomes your routine entertainment options because none of us play golf at 8 p.m. in this country, but
That's
in
right.
indoor golf facilities you can. So I think in over time, if there's a listener out there who's currently operating a indoor golf facilities and trying to figure out what they need to do in summertime to be able to grow the business and what the roadmap might be, I'm just telling you, it is a very natural thing for people to progress once they get into this indoor golf playing and get into a routine. It won't matter whether the outdoor green grass facility is available or not. You will still play indoor golf. That's and certainly what we've witnessed in Korea. So we essentially have no off season.
That's amazing.
No off season. That's awesome. The thought for me is like, when I go on a buddy trip or a golf trip or something like that, like, and I'm to the age where I probably shouldn't be doing this, but like I want to play sun up to sundown. And you're telling me now if we can squeeze in 36 out on the grass and then have an option to come in and hey, let's jump in the sim and keep going. Like that sounds like an incredible day. We don't have to turn the lights don't go off, Jonathan.
And the tired
Exactly.
guy can just sit there and enjoy my hot dog, cheeseburger, and a drink without having to keep up with the
Yeah,
36 hole plus guys. I could
have to
sit on
walk or
I could
ride in the
sit on
cart. You can
yeah,
just sit there and watch.
sit on the
Yeah.
couch and just enjoy myself. I don't wanna
Yeah.
swing. I've already swung 120 times in a round to try to get done with 18 holes. Like, I don't have any more swings in me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd max out at maybe 27 holes, and I don't know when was the last time I played 36. It probably at least 10 years. Um, but we so one of the things we're working with Pebble Beach, which is sort of in line with what you guys are just talking about, is us having now 4 simulators within their facility. We're going to launch this new tournament called the Road to Pebble Beach. And we're going to run a qualifying on worldwide golf zone sims over 10,000 locations worldwide. And we're going to pick probably 20 and 30 of the top qualifiers. We're going to fly them over to Pebble Beach. In the first 3 days, you play the tournament on our simulator. On the last day, you go and play Pebble. So we want to create partnership opportunity with green grass facilities and also provide access. I keep talking about access, but not everyone can go to Pebble Beach. Not everybody can go to Pine Lodge for various reasons. But we want to provide that access, so that you don't have to worry about green fees or staying at an expensive lodging and flying over. Like I want to get rid of that. So we run these kind of promotion, bring everybody together, being able to have both indoor and outdoor experience together. I think that's really good for the game of golf.
That's really cool. Well, it must be working because the stats I'm seeing last year, 6 million golfers played 100 million plus rounds using GolfZon.
That's right.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and if you even go further back to sort of Korea golf, I'm sorry to keep talking Korea, but that's our home and that's where we're from.
Right.
Um, when I first did a deal with GolfZone as a member of the LPGA, I got a lot of challenges from external folks in Korea, the Golf Course Owners Association, the equipment companies that manufacture golf balls and clubs. um, they all thought like no one loses golf balls indoors, so they're not going to buy golf balls anymore. We're going to see a downturn in people coming to green grass facilities because they'll play indoors. Well, they were all wrong. Right now, pre and post golf zone in Korea, we have tenfold increase in overall golf populations. There's now twice as much rounds being played on golf zone sims alone than entire green grass facility combined in Korea, and the entire industry grew. I don't think there's too many people who goes into an indoor facility and said, my aspiration is just continue to play indoors.
Right.
It is an access and a gateway to a greater things in golf. So I think in 2023 and 24, Korea was the largest golf apparel market in the world. With such a small country we are, that is unbelievable. Um, you can't get a tee time in Korea nowadays because everybody wants to play golf. Because we really funneled a lot of young people through the game of golf, and they're now, who started at 22, 23, now in the 35, 40, they're now playing golf every weekend. So that's the byproduct and the impact the growth of the game can have on overall industry through indoor golf.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
It's a great game and something that definitely more and more people need to be involved with. So y'all are doing some incredible stuff. I'm scared to ask this question. I know we've talked about some of the things that are coming, but what's next? Like, what do you see like a year from now, 5 years from now?
Well, definitely city golf. So we are in conversation to open probably most likely 2 locations in US with at least 1 location in Canada. So it will bring that new vertical within golf that people haven't experienced before. And I think just based on the feedback we received at the PGA show and the interest we're generating, this will be a significant venture for us for the next 3 to 5 years. And, many people ask, what is next for indoor golf facility or for golf zone? What's on the technology roadmap? We've got all of those things like AI, hologram, and even like 4D. Can we blow some wind and sprinkle some waters? We can do all of that. But for me, it's just how closely can we bring the real outdoor golfing experience indoor? And I don't think it's all about technology. I think technology is a big thing, but for us to understand how can we really create that experience, I think that's what's really next for all of us. Rather than indoor golf saying like, "Oh, I got this technology, that technology, my graphics great." We're all gonna catch up on that. We're all gonna have unbelievable graphics and beautifully accurate sensors and all of those. But how can you really recreate the camaraderie and all the things that come with the game of golf? To me, I think that's really the next um, phase for the indoor golf moving forward. Technology.
Very nice. Well, as we start to wrap up, well, this kind of fits perfectly because you are creating community, you're creating opportunities for people to hang out and fellowship on the golf course. And for us, that's where the best stories come from. And so let's ask a few stories of you and your golf game. The first question is to share the story of your most memorable golf shot. It can be out on real grass, it can be simulator. What's the best story?
Ah, I have a lot more bad ones than good ones.
We all
Um,
do.
I've hit a lot of houses and broken glass at Half Moon Bay before. Um, but it always seems to be that one good shot that I have in the round that makes me feel like I'm that caliber of golfer. It usually happens on the tee box of the 18th hole.
Of
Right.
We
course.
usually call that comeback again shot in back home in Korea. I have too many memorable shots, having been with the LPGA, playing with a lot of the dignities and a lot of LPGA pros. I can't really remember one good memorable shot I could share with you, but I should just tell you what type of golfer I am. I'm just somewhere right around 90 on a good day, so I'm gonna have to reach back and think about that. I might have to send you that separately.
Well, no worry. If you're around 90, then we should all play because we would have a good time together.
Right.
Yes, yes, I,
And
I look
and
forward to
just to be
that.
clear, my most memorable golf shot is the most embarrassing golf shot of my life. So it doesn't have to always be a good one. So
Well, you know what? I can give you one now. I just thought about. So when I was at the LPGA tour, um, normally like on Wednesday morning of the tournament week, we would have all of this VIPs lined up to hit a smoke ball, like a smoke bomb with the ball, right? So I was with like a vice president of Taiwan and our LPGA commissioner and a few other people, and I whiffed. And this was on camera in Taiwan in the news. We all hit it. Everybody else's ball flew out. Mine stayed. I just whiffed because I didn't stretch. It was my first swing of the day. And so I whiffed it. And that was probably, now you talk about an embarrassing shot. Like I can't get my LPGA colleagues to get off my back on that.
No, that's funny.
mine wasn't caught
We're
on
we're gonna
camera,
have to
so
do
I've got
a
that
deep
going.
dive and try to find video of that for sure.
That's
Don't
right.
do that. Yeah.
Well, another thing we like to do is what we call the quick nine. So just a little quick back and forth here. First question is, what is your favorite course that you've played?
Pebble Beach,
Of
Wow.
course. What course is at the top of your bucket list?
Augusta National.
Well, I'm in town, so
Common
just let me
answer.
know. I can carry your bag or something like that.
Yes.
What do you think is your favorite course that no one knows about?
I don't know that no one knows about this golf course, but it should be known more. It's Lake Merced Golf Club in San Francisco. I
Ooh,
consider that
Very
one of the
nice.
best golf courses in the country.
Nice.
wow.
I think that's what our buddy Mark Rivard just did for charcoal golf, Jonathan.
Oh yeah, I
He did
just saw
one.
that
He did one of
post.
their holes. Yeah,
Yep.
great course.
Unbelievable. Pure golf.
Nice. All right, Sean, who's in your dream foursome?
Uh, I'm going to start with Mike Wan, who is the CEO of USGA. And I'm going to also, I mean, you guys are not going to like this answer, but I'm going to have my founder and chairman of GolfZone, Mr. Young
Yeah.
Chan Kim. Um, and then the last one, Tiger Woods. I mean, who are we kidding? Yeah, Tiger Woods.
Of course.
Yeah.
Hard to beat putting him in a group. What has been your favorite snack at a turn?
Burger Dog Olympic Club.
Oh, we've heard about
Yeah,
it. I'm so
we've
jealous.
heard
You gotta
stories.
try
Yeah.
that. I mean, I think they have an offshoot version at Silverado, but like the one at Olympics, I'd go there for the hot dog, not for the golf. I mean, I'd go for the golf too, but unbelievable.
Now you're
No,
talking Jonathan's love
yeah,
language.
now let's go eat food. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. What is your favorite golf course logo?
I like, you guys might criticize me for this, but I like Oak Mountain logo. Yeah.
That's nice. Very classic.
Yes. Yes. There's a lot of
What
good
has
logos though.
been That's true. What has been your favorite pro shop purchase?
I bought a small flag with like all the different little drivers at the Prestwick in England. It was something that they had for sale for over 15 years. No one's bought it, but it's like a little flag on the wall with different clubs. So that still sits at my home office.
Very nice. All right. Next question. What is one thing golfers should do?
Play faster.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Pick
Agreed.
it up.
I guess it
All right,
could be a little
last.
bit more like be more considerate to other people, but I think, when your pace gets significantly compromised, I think it just brings down the overall experience. So like, if you hit a bad shot, hit another one's okay, but don't hit two, three shots from the same spot. That's sort of very, basic manners.
Yep.
You
All
could
right,
do that
finish this
indoor in the
sentence.
simulator golf, no problem. We just hit
Yeah.
mulligan.
It'll actually pop the ball right up for you, so you don't even have to go
Yes.
find it.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Finish this sentence. The best part of golf is.
Friendship. I'm not sure if that speaks to you guys, but for me, when I think about golf, I think about who I play with, not where I play. And a lot of relationship I built over the years of, nearly 20 years in the golf industry. I just think about the time, 4 or 5 hours of the quality time with somebody is the best component of the game.
Well, you are speaking exactly what we and this, everything Best Ball does, all of our podcast, everything. That's what it's all about. It's about the relationships. It's about people. We've met incredible folks through the game, including now yourself. And we're hearing great stories about great things that are happening. So, Sean, thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me, and I hope I didn't bore you guys too much. But it's a great opportunity to talk to you guys. And if there's anything I can do, I'd love to meet up with you guys and play some golf, indoor, outdoor. And I look forward to having that happen sometime in the near future.
Absolutely. Well, you being in Virginia, we're a couple states down. I'm in South Carolina. Jonathan's in Georgia. We'll make something happen, or we could just all go meet at Pebble, or go meet at Olympic and get one of those burger dogs for sure. So
I'm open. I'm open for any one of those possibilities. Let me know.
absolutely. Well, congrats on all the success and all the exciting things that y'all have going on. It's a good time to be doing what you're doing. So thank you for that. But again, thank you for today. It's been a lot of fun. So for Sean and Jonathan, this is Robbie, and y'all have been listening to another episode of the Whole Story Podcast.